Hey, Keith Myers here for you from Suskee Air Squadron. This is part two of uh, releasing the Pennsylvania papers in conjunction with proving that chemtrails are running rampant here in Pennsylvania. So, without further ado, let me get to the slideshow here. A little bit about our contact information here, and also the new documentary that we're making. If you'd like to contribute some gear, we're trying to get a few different kinds of monitoring equipment to use in the documentary. And we're proving beyond a reasonable doubt that chemtrails are being sprayed across Pennsylvania today. And also, this episode, how the PA Department of Environmental Resources Protection stole my research and deleted it. So, in response to that, we're dropping the papers, the data dump, which I told you guys about before. The links down there to feel free to peruse, or you can actually download the documents. There's a few different platforms, and we'll see how many hold up, or check our website again. So let's get right into it. I'm going to talk about the Hershey New Garden event. Now, again, in my last episode, I was talking a little bit about solar radiation numbers. So this is what we call control. This is the day before the event. The actual events were the 15th through the 17th. Now, look, right here, solar radiation, nothing out of the ordinary. We got Hershey, we got New Garden. It's early morning, midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. Every one of these lines here equals an hour in the grand scheme of things. And so, yeah, the sun's out, 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's November, so it's going to bed, relatively early. So let's see what the week or these days look like on a camera, and basically pictures I was taking from running around there. I just noticed that. So, yeah, on the 15th, those pictures were taken. Here's what's happening in Hershey. We got these numbers starting up at 12,000 again, 12,500 at about 9 o'clock a.m. Now, that's around the same time those pictures are taken, somewhere around 9 to around 11 a.m. So, look, we got the same anomaly going on here where it's dark now, but Hershey's still emitting, which should not be there. Through the pyranometers reading. So here we go. Let's see the next day. This is what it looked like. We got stratospheric aerosol injections going on everywhere. And here's what the 16th looks like. Hershey is still emitting 12,700 watts per meter squared. Some kind of EMR or EMF. So we got right here, we got New Garden kicking on down here at 5,000 for this hour. Now, this hour, that it must have only came on halfway because it's sustained at 12,000. So it's basically the average of the whole hour. Now, the 17th, this is what it looked like. This was right over my house that day, and it wasn't that high in the sky, I believe. So we also have these numbers again. Now, Hershey has stopped, okay, in the last day. New Garden is still going. And then up to this point where it's all deleted here. Now, I'm not sure why that could that be 24,000? Could it be what was that? This was not deleted. All right, so that whole weekend after I went to the DEP on the last episode, I found this, and this is what I was really concerned about. This was the Hershey, on that day that I printed out, 12,000 again. And again, I thought it was an anomaly. Now, Hershey the day before looks pretty normal here. Watts per meter square, this and that. Now, we do have some deletions here and one right here. Now, let's see the next day. This is the 15th with all the other pictures. Look at these numbers, 12,000, 12,000 right here. All these particulates, okay, this are size particulates. These has all been deleted, okay. PM 2.5, PM 10. So right in here, was also deletion of ozone. Now, ozone is also created when you have EMRs. Now we still have this whole thing pegging out here and messing up the resultant direction and the outdoor temperature. And then it all goes back to normal after all the rest of this stuff must have been made into garbage too, because it's not showing up. Now, here again, Hershey, look at this particulates. It's 178 or 176 right there at that same time, you know, when I'm taking pictures on the 17th. Now, if you look here, it's 178 is what it was. That's pretty high. But when you go to this other day, all right, the highest for the month was 721. Look at that. Now, when does that occur? Okay, right here that occurs. And that occurs into the other event, which I think was the Allentown, or the other one that we discussed. But they were still spraying it in Hershey, because that's where this data was taken. 700, you know, that's insanely high. Now the same thing here, 279. Where did that occur? Right here at the same time on the 19th as well. So all these things are intertwined. Now look at this. They deleted this data right here on the 15th, right? And I took pictures right over top of things being sprayed. So who knows what that was? Okay, it wasn't good. Now here's sulfur dioxide. Now this is taken down at the York plant. Okay, now every place has different parameters. Now York right here on this day on 11/16, all this data was deleted and it's back to 5.2. So who knows what this was? So sulfur dioxide is an indicator of sulfuric acid. That's one of the main ingredients that they're spraying out of these planes with a mixture of other particulates. So the day after I went to visit the DEP, which I told you about before, and I gave them a note that had all these different dates and times, and I asked what was going on with the 12,000 to 13,000 watts per meter squared. Is it HARP? Is it 5G? Well, the next day, the site was down and everything that I had basically told them was deleted. And here's the proof: 1115 solar radiation here at Hershey. And that's the document that I printed out. Look at this. This is all deleted. I went back and printed this out. It's all gone. Look, 390, 390. It's the same day, 193, 9. It's all the same indicators. It's just been wiped clean. You can see it too because all these have shrunk. All right. Now, same thing here. 1116, 1116. Here's Hershey. That's gone. 1116. Okay, here's New Garden. That's gone as well. All right, they're just cleaning up everything that I gave them. 1117, here's the original. Look, New Garden Airport. Remember, Hershey had stopped acting weird, and here's New Garden. But now that's all just gone. I mean, they didn't even bother to fill it in with anything differently. Look, 308, 391, all these other indicators are still, you know, it's the same day. They just changed it. Now, this is monthly for Hershey as well. Okay, this is the one I printed out. Before on you know, the 8th to the 12th. Look, this is after my visit. It's all gone. It's all gone once again. You want to see it again? Let's do it with Allentown and New Milford. Okay, this was the one that had some really crazy stuff. There's colors in the sky. Now here's the day before. This is the control. Look, solar radiation right here, right here. It's night, it's daytime. Look, everything's cool. Now it's not. So 1119, look, we got 12,700, and it's starting right here about 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, New Garden, or I'm sorry, New Milford looks like it's starting up around 2 o'clock in the morning. It has 440 here. That shouldn't be there, but it looks like they probably turn it on right at the end of when I say turn it on, I don't know what it is, but somebody is got a switch for it. And here we go, 1120, right? We still got Allentown going and cooking off through the early morning hours. Same thing with New Milford. Now, coincidentally, they just both stopped at 7 a.m. or appear to stop because we don't know what happened there. Was it a big burst of something? Was it, who knows? So here's what it looks like daily on the Allentown. Here we got this, you know, the other two things pegging out. And I have printed out or screenshot outdoor temperatures that you can actually see and correlate with the watts per meter squared that these two things are linked. If one is missing, then the other one is usually missing in the same exact duration. The same thing with the resultant direction. Now, there's been some other parameters that have been missing too, like ozone and other particulates, which I'll explain later on. So we go here and we see these indicators right here. It's kind of like the transitive property, I guess. A equals B, B equals C, then A equals C. So if things are missing here, and that is going on. So right here, who knows what happened there? Now, let's do the 19th again. This was all deleted after my visit. Here's the original, and here it is for the 19th of 2023. Same thing. Let's do it again. New Milford for the daily. All right, there should be nothing in here. It's 5 a.m. and there should be nothing here because it's now. Look at this. This is all gone now, but they left the 440 there. I just noticed that. See, I'm always learning stuff here because it wasn't really high, but there's no way that at 2 a.m. that there should be 440. Again, when you're looking at this data, you're going to pick up all kinds of things. And that's why I'm excited for other people to see this stuff, because I'm picking up new stuff all the time. Now, again, here is the ranked, historically ranked stuff. And right here for these date parameters to 23. And now after I tell them all the dates, look, it's all gone again. It's all gone. So I'm going to explain to you real quick the fallacy of the malfunctioning sensor explanation. Or they're doing multiple tests at site for one day. Here's 11/17/2020. Look at all these deletions. Okay. Now, as far as I know, this is for all solar radiation. So who knows what was going on all this time, but if it's deleted, it's probably nefarious. The 1 hour block, again, all these blocks are 1 hour. So they tell me that these things, oh, maybe the sensors are bad, maybe they're malfunctioning. Well, in order for this to come back on, it has to be fixed. Somebody has to go there and physically fix it, because sensors don't just magically fix themselves. So this whole explanation of things breaking and being, the system is solid. The guys built a great system, whoever built it, and the DEP, somebody, but they didn't plan on it picking up all this telltale signs of solar radiation management. And not only that, but electromagnetic, radiation. So in order for this to be possible, they'd have to have, I would say, a winged fleet of ferries that are technically advanced that could go out and fly out to BFE and fix this stuff. It's not plausible, not possible. On top of it, I'm kind of pissed. They stole my research, and I took it kind of personally. So that's why I'm dropping all this today. And you guys are going to be able to go and check it out, because you can root through it your own. You can make your own pictures, take your own pictures and correlate them against the things that I have put in there. Again, their data is kind of Swiss cheese because they've deleted a lot of stuff, but I can show you how to read the cheese. It's going to be interesting for those of you who want to participate. So from for the last like 7 years, I've went back through and got all these indicators, okay, that indicate when these things are happening in conjunction together, it's a bad day in your neighborhood in Pennsylvania. So you can go through, get all these different files and look around your area. It's not just Hershey, it's not just Allentown, it's everywhere else. So I'm saying is build your own case study. Go in and take pictures, and then go in and get the correlating data from my database. And this is all just screenshots and things. Now, I did do a study of 2023, which I printed out and highlighted and scanned back into the system, probably about 2,000 documents. So it's a pretty good study for 2023. The rest of it is just for you to look at, and you can see their own data if it's missing. So if the parameter data is missing and you find missing solar radiation data and surface ozone or sulfur dioxide, missing PM 2.5 particulates, or outdoor temp stuff that matches other things, It's indicative of deletion or tampering with official Commonwealth of Pennsylvania app data. And more importantly, it probably means that you've been exposed in your area to an EMR and who knows how many and what kind of particulates. I mean, seriously, ask yourself, why would such data be deleted if the DEP, if it was harmless or insignificant? I mean, to actually have somebody go back and do all that stuff, it's ridiculous. So you don't have to be from Pennsylvania to use this data. I mean, this is happening all over the world, all over the United States, I'm sure. And countries are doing similar programs. Now, I don't know about the radiation, the electromagnetic radiation part of it, because that's pretty nefarious. So I don't know what to think about that, other than it's not good. You start putting two and two together about microwaving metallic particulates that might be living in your lungs or in other things. It doesn't sound like it's something that's meant to help us. So climate change is absolutely real. It's just it's not the kind of climate change you're talking about. It's what powers that be are trying to do. So the question is really, why are the high levels of electromagnetic radiation occurring, and where are they coming from? So this is an open source science project where I want you to find somebody, a study buddy, somebody that has an interest in finding out some more information. Shoot me an email, whatever. I have gone back to the Citizens Advisory Council meeting at DEP and tried to warn these people of what's going on. And I was there on May 14th and I spoke for 5 minutes. And here's an excerpt from their minutes. They have a meeting coming up here shortly. And I basically said that I was going to speak about the EPA funding opportunity for underserved communities in order for them to have access to particulate or air quality information. But when I got there, I basically kind of went off the rails and said that, this is going on. And basically what I'm telling you people today, and the fact that they're deleting people. So they wrote this up, and I appreciate Ian Irving. He was in charge of the meeting, and he went back and reflected that. Now, I did send documents that I showed earlier in this to them that prove the deletion of what was going on. And so he said I provided, written comments, but then I did, speak on additional comments regarding anomalies from sensors at certain locations, including high levels of solar radiation and the deletion of data from air quality data. So I heard nothing, not a word from any of these people. And I told them about this. This was the most recent one. This is in Johnstown. This is out in the middle towards Western, almost towards Pittsburgh. Now, look, here on the 24th of this year in April, look what we got here. We got the same pattern going on here with these numbers, right? I don't have pictures of this, but I can just prove what happened here by the data. I don't even have a picture, but look. So look, then we got Johnstown. Here's outdoor temperature. Look at this. 1, 2, the gears pegged out as before. All right, so then Johnstown again, right here. Same day, 224. Look at this. All ozone data is missing here. That was wiped out around the same time as everything else. Johnstown, sulfur dioxide. Look at that. All right in there, all around the same time. It's all missing. PM 2.5. Where's Johnstown? Right here. Same thing. Missing data right there. Now, what I do have a picture for, and this is probably the most disturbing one that I can share with you today to wake you up, is this. This is March 1st in Hershey and around the surrounding areas. So basically 10:30 in the morning, you can see there's some injections going on, but it's blue sky. He's got some blue sky. Now, none of this happened all day. We just had a beautiful blue sky the whole day. Now, so this is around 1 o'clock. Stuff's getting hazy. It's getting bad. Right. This is over, I think, Annville, Pennsylvania. Lebanon Valley College is close to here. All right. So 5 o'clock. That's the sun right there. Look at the rest of this. This haze is just, it's everywhere. And that is the sun. I couldn't believe it. I came out and I did not know that was the actual sun. So let's see what this looks like. Okay. Now they had the foresight to delete this information here, as soon as it came out or automatically, but it left the telltale signs, okay, of these parameters indicate that that's going on. Now, look, here's the next day. They just deleted the whole column. I mean, there's no watts per meter squared here. There's no solar radiation numbers here for the second, okay? And then 3.1, you can see right here where they deleted it as well. And this is for all the other, cities, in Pennsylvania. Now, 3.2 solar radiation. You can see Harrisburg, Holbrook, no Hershey. Hershey's gone because I showed it to you earlier. That whole column, it's not even showing up there. So look, you can see what it looks like on the monthly. Now I pulled this report on the 9th. You can see because look, yeah, here at 3/9/24, nothing else is filled in for the whole month. But I wanted to get this and see what was going on. So look, you have the first, the second, the third, and part of the fourth. Okay, that's 3.5 days. Hershey was subjected to what? Electromagnetic radiation. Okay, reading it, I'm going to assume, I think I got the right to assume, based on all the other things that we just saw here, that was probably 12,500 to 13,000 for all that number there. Now, why else would you delete that, right? So let's see what Mr. Outdoor Temperature says here. Okay, same thing. Look, all this corresponds with that. All that pegging out at 3, 6, whatever. It should be in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's March in Pennsylvania. Now, it does get cold, 29. So look, and it drops right here. Okay. It proves it. Now look, again, here we go. 3.3 Hershey, boom. All that is, look at comparative temperatures all across the board. That's nowhere close. All right, so now we get Hershey, look, finally coming back online here on the 4th. Okay, they deleted all that. Now they did not delete that or change that. That could all been changed and I would have never known. We're missing some ozone here and other things, but look, okay, now we're right back here. Now it's a normal day in Hershey and nighttime is happening. But up until this point, people in Hershey were being subjected to that. So basically, I went to the day after I found out everything was deleted. I went to law enforcement and I recorded a statement. And the statement basically was saying what I'm telling you all today is, they didn't really understand what was going on, but I needed to back it up because somebody needed to know in case something happened to me. At this point, I was getting ready to leave for San Juan, and right before I left, the night before, look, I get a dose of EMR right before I go to leave. Right, here you go. On the 12th. Starting at, what is that? 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 12,600, 12,000, blah, blah, blah. You can only imagine what this is right here. You can afterwards, because they deleted it. I printed this in March and I printed the other one like the day it happened. So look, here we go. 2 o'clock, all on. So basically till 6 o'clock the next morning, they irradiated Hershey one more time. Now, I got to San Juan and basically saw the same stuff, going on down there. Look at this. This is all stratospheric aerosol injection. You have other kinds of flat clouds going on there. This is not natural. This is not meant to be there. You can see these lines, and everything down there was just the same as Pennsylvania. And it was really disheartening. So I'm going to tell you what's happened in PA. Residents are being exposed to high levels of unknown particulates. Proven, true, okay. High levels of harmful surface ozone, okay, also true, because why would you delete it, all right? High levels of some kind of open air electromagnetic radiation. Absolutely true, because how are you going to explain to me what's transmitting something at 12,500 watts per meter squared? And why are you deleting it, okay? I can also prove, and I just did, corruption or manipulation of data by the DEP. And this equals unlegislated, non-consensual research. Who's flying the planes and releasing the particulates? Who's deleting and changing official PA DEP data from the app? And who's running the electromagnetic radiation in conjunction with the particulates? Who's in charge of these programs if it isn't terrorism? I mean, who? Doesn't it sound like something, a terrorist group would do? Who's conspiring at all these different levels to make it happen? State, federal, local? I don't know. Who's in charge of electromagnetic devices in coordination with the aerosols? So one thing's happening, the other one's going on as well. I never expected to find any of that. Yeah, maybe the particulates, maybe something else like that, but the whole EMRs, it's ridiculous. Okay, so why is this happening? Why are we being subjected to crimes against humanity? Things are being covered up by people we pay our tax money. And there's distinct patterns all across the state, all across the state, and you can see them in the data that I've collected. So you people that are participating knowingly in this, okay, airports and pilots, according to the legislation, you're going to lose your licenses or be shut down according to Weather Modification Act, which is coming back here shortly because we have people tracking these planes now, thanks to different kind of radar and historical data. We see what you're doing. You're flying with your transponders off, and it's people loading the planes. The people running the airports, you're going to lose your airport too. It's in the legislation. Okay. People complicit in DEP. And if anybody's involved in state or private schools, for this kind of nefarious research, your funding should be revoked, and and also your accreditation. You should be shut down. Any politician, public servants, complicit law enforcement people, you're all guilty of treason, crimes against humanity, Nuremberg Code violations. You're injuring people and animals, and what's worse is children. You're ruining the air, the water, the soil, everything that is getting contaminated by this. Nobody knows what this is going to do to us in the long run. I've been to the National Guard and I've talked to people. I've been to local congressmen here in Lebanon, okay, that have said that they're very want to make a stand for the people in that, and nobody wants to talk about this. And you people know who you are, okay? I'm not going to mention your names because I know you personally, and I have for a while, but the time's getting short to start acting on this. I would basically say to attorneys and actuaries that you check the mortality tables against my data. There's a lot of things that are going around here that I can't explain, but there's certain times of certain years when certain things rolled out that the whole state got lit up like a Christmas tree. Okay. And I can see it, and I don't need pictures. People have underperforming solar energy devices because they're blocking out the sun. So I'm reaching out to the Auditor General. Okay, Tim, listen, I just proved beyond a reasonable doubt, any kind of shadow of a doubt, that we're paying people in Pennsylvania with our tax money to actually delete information. Okay. Where does that happen, and how do I get a job like that? Do I get benefits and maybe some kind of I think you guys get a pension too. So I don't understand it. Attorney General as well. I've reached out to your office. I'm not saying that you have a vested interest, but maybe you should. Okay. Now I'm going to give this an invitation for anybody at the DEP or the EPA to get with me. I'll put up a broadcast, or we can go, somewhere else, somebody else's broadcast. Any kind of people that are wanting to have me on to talk about this, I'll gladly, defend my position so much that if, nobody can prove me wrong right now. So I would love to be disproven of this whole, nightmare. So what can you do? Start taking pics, start doing some research, start sending this to everybody that you can everywhere in the world. Send this episode to your representatives. Ask them if they voted in favor of unlegislated research that's dumping particulates and exposing us to radiation. The governor and the acting DEP secretary. They kind of made me sick on Earth Day because they went about this Pennsylvania Solar Energy Initiative, and they're pretty. They know what's going on here in Pennsylvania. So you're selling these people underperforming, things. You're blocking out the sun. Again, there should be through SAM, NREL, any of these things that are supposed to be monitoring, solar radiation for people's PV or solar thermal systems. There, you're degrading their stuff, and people pay tax money for that. Our tax money went for those in the form of credits and whatnot. So Pennsylvania just came out with a new slogan. It's like the Great American Getaway. I say it should be the Smart American Stay Away, or come on vacation, leave with electromagnetic radiation. Those are fitting. Okay, don't do yourself a favor. Don't come to Pennsylvania until we get this sorted out, right? And if you're sick, if you have underlying issues, things that are not lending themselves to microwaves, or possibly, um, you know, bending your cells, or just the sheer amount of time that some of these places were exposed to these EMRs is incredible. I mean, for what other reason? So I do want to mention the scientific side, a guy that can explain what's going on a lot better than I am. I do not have time, but he's been at it for 20 years. Geoengineeringwatch.org, Dane Wigington. He has been a champion for what's going on, and he knows time's running out, and I really appreciate his work. Also, Children's Health Defense, got an episode coming up on Doctors and Scientists with Brian Hooker, and thank him, and I think Heather Ray too. They've been really, really instrumental in helping me get the word out. Also, so just if you want to donate, again, check out the link. I really don't care too much about the money, but if you want to help us buy some equipment, that'd be great. Again, that's us, and that's me. And I just want to say thank you very much for listening to what I had to say today. Somebody prove me wrong. I mean, I'm here for it. Just shoot me an email and be like, "Hey, man, you're crazy," or what you just said there doesn't make sense. I got thousands of documents, and I want you to inspect them. And somebody somewhere is going to, break through in Germany and France and other states and other countries. It's happening all around us. Now, to what extent, I don't know as far as the EMRs, but I can't really speak to the other programs that might be going on. There is other programs, ice nucleation, other things like that. And I don't doubt it, because it's been going on for a long time, at least since the 60s, if not, the 40s or whatnot. But just please just, share this as much as you can and get the word out. And if you can jump in and correlate pictures of what you're doing, then just feel free to use all the data as much as you can, and just share it with everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.